Hello, welcome to Texas Lone Wolf Mikhail, your source for red pill truth. And just to give you advice and heads up, this content might be disturbing. Viewer discretion is heavily advised. Note that this is not intended to bully anyone or to cause harm. We're going to discuss baiting and how it is used to manipulate people. And oftentimes, is used by narcissists or family members or certain people who wants to get a rise out of people. Excuse me. How to recognize this? Now, when I say family members, it usually is cousins or siblings or in-laws, aunts, uncles, or parents. They will do this to their kids. Now, what's more important is it affects your self-esteem, it affects your confidence, it affects everything about you. Everything. Now I want to bring awareness to baiting. Now, with that being said, I'm going to change the description. I'm going to change this. I'm going to change this here to I'm going to change this so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, baiting is not a very good thing. And baiting will be imposed upon you in a way that you will not see it coming. Now, I want you to be aware, all right, that baiting does come, and it's going to come. How you respond to it, okay? How you respond to baiting, all right? I want you to take a look at this, and please do not fall victim to this. Now, I'm going to show you what that is. What is baiting? Baiting is when a toxic person purposely does or says something that they know will hurt or upset you. All right? Usually some rude or cruel comment or a remark or condescending remark. It is done to provoke some kind of reaction out of you. Makes you feel inferior or to start drama and an argument. Are you getting this? Never take the bait from a toxic person that does this. They are highly controlling and obsessively abusive. They have no concern for how they make others feel, but according to them, hurting someone else is never their fault. It will be your fault for reacting. Now, to the men or women actually going their own way in life, you will become a threat to that person going his or her own way. All right? You will become a threat because people who go their own way cannot be controlled by anyone, and that is a threat. That itself is a threat. You follow me? Now, I don't want you to think I'm picking on you. All right? I don't want you to think I'm picking on you. All right? Because it can and will happen to you. All right? And when people bait you, all right? When they bait you, all right? When they bait you, okay? They will make you feel inferior. All right? They're going to make you feel inferior. And don't fall into that trap. And you get nosy rosies. They get into your business. They can bait you. All right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this up. And I'm going to take this off for a time being. And we'll be right back. All right? I got to take care of something real quick. I'm going to come back and re-record this video. This is going to be a brand new video for January 1st of 2023, okay? We're going to talk about baiting and how it can be used, all right? I don't want nobody to get offended because this is going to be informational only. And anyways, we're going to pick up where I left off. Alrighty, I'm done taking care of my business. I had to run to the bathroom though. Anyway, baiting is a form of manipulation, so I'm going to blow this up for you, okay? Now, very common abuse tactic by narcissistic parents and effects it does on children. Well, siblings, cousins, aunts, uncles, and some of your coworkers can do this to you as well, all right? I'm not cutting slack for anyone. So, if you are being subjected to this, my advice to you is seek counseling. And if you're in this relationship with this narcissist, get the hell out because you deserve better. If you think you can change them, you know, majority of the women nowadays say they want to change their boyfriends. I got a perspective for you. Date them. If they act like this or they try to provoke you, break up, get out of that web of narcissism. Because you're going to wind up being damaged and you're going to wind up seeking individual counseling to get to the root of your baggage problems. All right? And anyways, parents do this to their children. And I put up with this here growing up. And I'm going to go ahead and cover this because it needs to be talked about. And this destroys a child's self-esteem. This destroys a child's motivation. If you have a child and you're over here cheering someone else's child on, you as a parent failed your children. And to the mothers out there that are listening to my video, if you have children and you put yours down and prop others up just to keep the peace, you, my friend, you need to be thrown in a cell and key thrown away. I'm sorry to call it out. I care more for the child than I do for you as a parent. To me, narcissistic baiting, you should be dealt with legally. And what is narcissistic baiting? All right? I'm going to highlight that. What is narcissistic baiting? Well, some people don't want to talk to you because sometimes when you call out their BS, it's like digging to the root of the problem and exposing it. Let everybody see what they're dealing with. Nobody wants to let the cupboard, a skeleton out of the cupboard, so nobody don't want them out. You see what I'm saying? Now, what is narcissistic baiting? That's the definition, means a bait to lure, hook, trap, entice someone or something. When associated with people, bait is defined to deliberately annoy or taunt someone. Siblings can do this to their other siblings. This is a form of manipulation. And when they say I have your back, they usually don't. They say that just to, so you can just get away from them and they continue on their little agenda. I intend to call this out. And my channel that I have is to promote Red Pill Truth. Now, sometimes this can be a bit graphic and a bit queasy to stumble upon, but we have to talk about this. We have to discuss this. Because who else is going to talk about this process? Who else is going to talk about this? If this don't get talked about, and who else is going to bring it up? I might as well be the one to bring it up on this channel. Baiting is a form of manipulation. It destroys self-esteem. It destroys self-worth. It destroys self-confidence. It destroys self-independence. It destroys everything. In a psychological sense, baiting occurs when someone intentionally acts in a way to elicit, trigger, provoke an emotional response for whomever they're interacting with. In this case, a narcissistic parent attempts to bait their own child. Baiting is often used when one person wants to start an argument or some kind of conflict with another person. Narcissists bait their purposely by doing or saying things to annoy or taunt them. They may do it in order to get the victim to do what they want. They would often use baiting as a way to continue to assert their power and superiority in relationship. To the affected victims, I am talking to you. You do not deserve this. You do not. I repeat, you do not deserve this. Seek individual counseling. Type of narcissistic baiting and how to deal with them. There are various types of narcissistic baiting, and a lot of them overlap with one another. I'll be focusing on 7 common ones in this post, okay? With narcissistic baiting types, once again, is used to elicit some form of emotional response or reaction out of you. Chances are you've fallen for them many times before. All right, one of them is scaremongering. Scaremongering. Now, scaremongering is known as fear-provoking, any attempt by a narcissist to elicit fear and anxiety in you or others. Your narcissistic parent is likely familiar with their specific fears, insecurities, anxieties. It's likely to use it against you in the form of emotional blackmail, using your emotions and vulnerabilities against you to manipulate you. It's a manipulation. And sometimes siblings and in-laws go along with this and tell you they're not part of it, and they are. So yes, this is a form of manipulation. All right? This type of narcissistic baiting involves some type of threat or implication of a threat. All right, their threat may include revealing something such as embarrassing about you or others that you wouldn't want others to know, or they may threaten or hurt or sabotage something important to you, such as material possession or a relationship. I've been a victim of this, and I know what it's like. Your narcissistic parent may imply things will go wrong for you if you ever cross or betray them. I've been there and done that, so yes. We're going to discuss this. All right? We are going to discuss this. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and talk about scaremongering. Now, how to deal with scaremongering, all right? How to deal with it. Now, there's state agencies out there that work for the, if you're a disabled person and you're on fixed income, baiting can happen to the disabled. I just want you to take notice, baiting can happen to the disabled. Either by parents, siblings, or their friends. And yes, I'm going to call it out. It can be hard to deal with a narcissistic scaremonger because they play into our fears. And who knows what the narcissist is capable of? Yes. They could threaten to throw their own child out of the house. There's not much you can do to try to stop the narcissist from carrying out their threats. Even if you obey them at this time, they could continue to use it against you whenever they please. To the victims of this, I encourage you to get individual counseling, go to the state, get resources to help with resources. They will help you. It is therefore best consider limiting or cutting off contact with a narcissistic parent or siblings or in-laws or cousins or relatives if you haven't already. Now, if you're a parent or somebody that baits other people, shame on you. You have no pity for me. And the less they know about you, the less they have access to what's going on in your life, and the best way to shield yourself from their scaremongering. Also, the narcissist may make a lot of threats, but at the same time, they're just words. However, if the threats are serious, it might be necessary to involve the police or the law or even the agency that takes care of you, or the disability and aging adults. Get them involved, and they will think twice, because there's legal consequences of scaring a disabled into submission or taunting them. So, try to have some proof, though. Through narcissists are good at manipulating others to side with them. And their friends, yes. All right, intrigue. Well, intrigue is a narcissist baiting technique to pull others in. So we're going to discuss this. All right. This baiting usually involves vague or brief snippet of information, comment, or story that is meant to trigger your anxiety or intrigue. Yes. The narcissist may or may not elaborate further, thus elicit more anxiety and intrigue. Yep. Your narcissistic parent might try to bait you to claim that they have information or things that you don't have access that you care about. Maybe they claim they know something about a job you're interviewing for or a restaurant that you're moving into, that person you're about to meet up for coffee or first time. They claim they know certain information about someone you may benefit or help you. Don't listen to them. Be your own judge. They're trying to manipulate, they're trying to control you like a puppet master with strings. All right? And however, narcissist intentionally doesn't give you any specific or clear information. It's up to you to go after them for it. Most time, the narcissist parent doesn't actually have any secret, insider, or special information that you don't know. There's some that can't even hold water. Your relative can't even hold water. Beware of those. Listen, if they can't hold water, they will yap like a chihuahua and barking everything out they know to sell you out. Avoid them at all costs. So when you do go after them for more details than you are taking the bait, refuse to bait. They don't know shit, okay? They now know whether they bait you for is something you care enough, they go after them for it. How to deal with intrigue, all right? Now, as humans, we have natural curiosity about things, okay? Do not get curiosity. Do not, just ignore it, all right? It's going to do you a lot of good, what narcissists are banking on. Whenever you feel tempted for a narcissistic parent to ask more information, remind yourself, who is it you're dealing with? All right? Even if you do get more information out of them, is it the information you could trust? Now, narcissists tend to lie, exaggerate, or intentionally leave out information that support their narratives. This also includes siblings, cousins, in-laws, their friends, friends of friends, acquaintances, etc. Don't go to them for information. All right? Chances are they could tell you, is it reliable to begin with, or likely just another one of their baiting tactics. Oh yes, false accusation. I know that one way too well. With this narcissistic baiting type, narcissists will falsely accuse you of something that they may or may not have actually believe about you. Like with other forms of baiting, their purpose is to get a reaction out of you. Just to give you a heads up. False accusers usually wind up in court and having to answer to the judge for their stupid lies and shit like that. I just want you to be aware of this. If you, the victim, have been falsely accused, get individual counseling to undo anything that they have done to you. Whenever we falsely accuse, our natural response is to defend ourselves. Let me ask you this, victim. Did you get falsely accused? Did you do the act? Did you do the deed? Was there evidence you left behind? If there's no evidence you left behind, then of course you need to focus on ignoring them. Pretty soon people are going to see right through their BS. Just like you would. Alright? Just remember, the guilty ones or the liars always speak flatteries. And they give, and remember, fools give speeches. The quiet leaders they lead. Okay? Just want to give you a heads up. Fools give speeches. A wise one remains silent. Okay? And this issue with baiting type is can lead to smear campaigns. Politicians do this all the time when they run for office. When a narcissist is able to get a reaction out of us using false accusations, they will try to do it by spreading those false accusations to other people. That's where they get messy. Smear campaigns where narcissist goes around slandering your name, trying to damage your reputation. Did I say your cousins can do this? Your siblings can do this? This is a very harsh reality we live in. People will try to do this to you, okay? They may do this to get a reaction out of you or get you to no contact with them. Most time, this is a type of baiting that many people fall for because it's exactly negative, affecting their lives. A narcissist smear campaign can end relationships, destroy careers, or even ruin lives. How to deal with false accusations. To the victim I'm talking to, put your foot down, quit pussyfooting around. Quit being naive and quit being so nice according to society standards that being nice would get people to leave you alone. Yeah, have you ever heard the term fight fire with fire? No, actually, I take that back. Have you ever heard the term eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth? Have you ever heard that term? Then fast forward to the New Testament and the Bible says turn the other cheek. Sometimes you can turn the other cheek and guess what? The smear campaign's still going on. Believe it or not. Oh, to the person who ruined relationship, ruined lives and stuff. If you're listening to this video, I just wonder how many chapters and stories have you got hidden right behind you. Yes, I'm talking about that. How many stories that you don't want people to know about you, but yet you ruin lives, you ruin reputations. You get people fired based on BS lies. Hey, this stuff is real. This is real. It's important you remind yourself that narcissists, whether believe it or not, will believe whatever they want, and there's no changing their mind. Once a narcissist, always a narcissist, unless they want to go get help changing their pattern. And these people will often lead to their own self-destruction or self-demise. And once they put too many holes in their stories, and their stories fall apart, and their lives crumble right in front of them, and usually it's going to be too late. Trying to defend yourself against their accusation only shows them that they got under your skin, which is something they enjoy. This is not something I would want to do. When a narcissist falsely accuses you of something that they simply, I didn't do it, and they're using that all that annoying way to insist that something online. Well, we both know the truth, but believe what you want, and or end it at that. However, smear campaigns are a little more complicated. At this point, ignoring or dismissing the narcissist may not be enough because they're involving other people and might actually can be affecting your life. Don't fall into that trap. In that case, it's important to gather all possible evidence to prove your innocence or disprove their accusation. Legal action may be needed depending on how far your narcissistic parent is willing to go. Wow. This is very serious, my friend. All right, this is very serious. So I'm just telling you the truth. Right? Another baiting type of narcissists often do is guilt tripping. Another baiting type narcissists often do is guilt tripping. They might blame you for their unhappiness or whatever's going wrong in their life at the moment, or they may do it to get you to do what they want. Narcissists may guilt trip you by playing the victim. There's a tactic known as self-pity drama. You ever heard of that? Self-pity drama. With this baiting, this type of elicit your sympathy and or empathy. Their purpose is to hook you into a caretaker or savior role. Don't fall for that. The issue with guilt tripping is that it's obvious and you know when it's happening, but at effective it preys on your good nature and compassion. It's like a freaking leech. And when you're an own parent that wants to help with something, we usually want to do it whenever we assist them or get told at least get rid of the guilt we're feeling, so we take the bait. This is something for you to even to look at, okay? Anyways, guilt tripping can have devastating consequences on a person, such as guilt shaming, guilt tripping, making you feel worthless, making you feel helpless. Seriously. So, how to deal with guilt tripping? Get the agency or the law involved. All right. Remind yourself that narcissist doesn't feel any guilt. They end up guilt tripping you all day, every day. Even when you ever do the same, you're accused of being manipulative, abusive, or selfish. It can be easy to fall victim of the guilt tripping, especially when they know exactly how to tug at your heartstrings or know how to pull our strings to make us do what they want. But trying to see through their poor me facade and don't give in, remind yourself all the time, they have hurt you. Alright? They betrayed your trust. Giving in to them only reinforces them to continue using this baiting technique to manipulate you and even further hurt you. False hope. And this is real. Alright? False hope is real. Alright? False hope. It's real. Alright? With some narcissistic baiting, basically what the name suggests, they give you false hope on something that's bait to manipulate you to do what they want. It's like they're dangling your desire on a string to hook you in. They might make false promises about how they do something for you, how they give you something if you did something for them first. More than not, they get their end of the deal. You never get yours. And this is real. False hope is often tied to hovering. Hovering is when you want to limit or cut contact with a narcissist. They do and say anything and everything to suck you back in. They promise to change or treat you better, and once you fall for it, they abuse you all over again. Now, how to deal with false hope? Remind yourself that many false hope in your narcissistic parents has created you over and over. Tell yourself that there's another one of those times. They're never going to change. Any of their promises are simply empty or false. They might be helpful or physically write down every time they ever wronged you or promised you something but never delivered. Pull out the list of false hope they instill in you to keep you from falling for this baiting technique again. Stonewalling is also a form of manipulation. Stonewalling. Stonewalling is a type of passive-aggressive behavior that involves silent treatment and a body language that seems to be angry, resentful, or hostile. Even in-laws can do this. They can do this to you, and however the person doesn't directly express those feelings. Your narcissistic parent might have a stonewall you by ignoring you, giving dismissive, invalidating your responsive, or responding vaguely to whatever you say or ask. Stonewalling makes you feel anxious, scared, doubtful of yourself. Seek individual counseling if you're a victim of this, okay? I am empowering you to go and heal from this. Stonewall makes you feel anxious, scared, doubtful of yourself. This is exactly what the narcissists thrive off of. They feel though they're capable of control and manipulate how you are feeling. Your narcissistic parent may also stonewall, give silent treatment when you are or they feel like You're calling them out on their abusive, manipulative behavior. And this right here is very common, okay? Anyway, this is very common. You don't want to fall victim to this. Now, how to deal with stonewalling rather than take the bait and go after them. Focus on yourself. Remind yourself that their stonewalling is used to make you feel bad, further lure you into their vicious cycle. Okay? It can be hard because we desire love and affection turned from our parents, or siblings, or cousins, or in-laws, especially. Excuse me. And we're naturally drawn to doing whatever we can to earn it. But try to focus on your self-care. If they love you, they won't treat you like that. And you may not think so, you deserve better than that. Yes, you deserve better than that. Once you stop giving them any attention, chances are they'll crawl back to you trying to try out their another baiting tactics. That's when you slam that door in their face. No, don't give them a second chance. Second sucks. All right? Are you paying attention? And triggering emotional response. Narcissists love to get a rise out of people, especially their victims. They do this intentionally, bringing up topics that you're sensitive or vulnerable to. Then, when you are raised by a narcissist, they usually know your emotional triggers all too well. Get away from them. Get away from whoever is doing this to you. Get away. All right? When you get that trauma, then you're going to have to go to individual licensed therapists to get help coping with those emotional trauma or baggage. They can use it against you whenever it suits them. Your narcissistic parent, cousins, in-laws, or acquaintances, or outsiders that profess to be your best friend, but they always go around running their mouths off about you to other people, and professing to be called a substitute parent. Kick their ass to the curb. You don't need them around in your life. You don't need them. Now, narcissistic parent may intentionally trigger you so they can project, shift blame, gaslight, invalidate, or manipulate you. Seek counseling to get that undone. It may be common for your narcissistic parent to do this right to you right before important event or date for you. I'm telling you, this can happen. And just give you a heads up. They're not your friends. All right? They may trigger you, make you look like a abuser or a crazy one rather than them. They make you look insensitive to others because they crafted this careful facade that rest of the world how they're loving, caring, parent, interesting. They make you look like a narcissistic one, which they are the one that's got problems, not you. For example, my mother did this to me at a huge family dinner once. She was making implications about my weight, appearance, intelligence. Outsiders couldn't read between the lines or hear all the insults about me, but I can. And guess what? As a survivor of this, I ended up being introverted, withdrawn in my own little world. All right? And over here, this story says, I end up crying in front of everyone. Try the hardest there's not an oversensitive, spoiled brat who can appreciate her mother complimenting her in front of others. Parents, in-laws, cousins, siblings, relatives, outsiders, company, they can all do this to you. How to deal with a triggering. Get away from them. You need to practice self-care. You need to go to counseling. Go to counseling session. Cut off people that no longer mean anything to you. All right? This is the hardest one to deal with, at least. Trying my best to overreact as hard as certain things trigger emotional flashback you can't control. That's known as PTSD right there. Okay? You're going to need professional help to get out of that. Okay? What can you do in this scenario? Excuse yourself from the situation. You can also do this before things go south. You may have an argument about to erupt, or your parent is about to do something to hurt you. Once you're away from the situation, go somewhere where you can preferably be alone or be with someone you can trust, preferably a counselor. And practice self-care. Look at this. And this can actually happen to anyone at any given time during seasons or events. Perhaps something like the 4th of July, the Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, birthdays, anniversaries, or special occasions. This can happen any time. Narcissistic baiting can keep you constantly off balance is an emotional type of abuse that can really affect you, make you feel confused, uncertain, doubtful, anxious, chaotic, guilty, scared, and frustrated. I'm going to put this down in the description. And this here, I'm going to bring awareness. So this here is a person who's dealing with abuse off of this one. And this guy right here is over here like, what the heck is going on? And it can be a form of bullying. To bait someone is intentional to make someone angry by saying and doing things to annoy them. Baiting is a provocative act used to solicit an angry, aggressive, emotional response from another individual. So yes, I'm gonna bring awareness to this, and get out of the fog. If you're in this, just get out. I'm gonna go ahead and put this here. I'm gonna put this here into the description box as well. And I've already covered this. I've already covered it. I'm gonna put this here in the description. And this is another good article, but I don't have a subscription to this. So, anyways, excuse me. And this is a licensed individual counseling who, talks about this. They play the victim. They threaten, intimidation, and make threats, and they never carry with it. They dangle and carrot and creating false hope. I've already covered this, so to speak. And you need to be aware of this, because if you don't, who do you have? All right, who do you have? Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna read that. This is over. This fiction be about almost 3 years old. They feel entitled. They feel entitled to your income, your money. If they can't have it, they will guilt shame you. They play manipulative mind games. They'll go out and try to plan your. They'll try to say, oh well, let me it's pretty bad. Intimidation, project. They do coercive control. They do all kinds of stuff. You know what? I'm gonna put this here in the description. And they claim insider information, guilt tripping, false hope. I've already talked about this. And triggering emotional response. So I wanted to cover this topic. Okay? Now, excuse me. I'm sorry for coughing. This weather's changing where I'm at. Get away from that. Go seek individual counseling from a licensed counselor. They can help you navigate through this life. And plus, start all over new. Alright? You deserve peace and love and tranquility. You don't deserve to be used, be guilt tripped, to be manipulated, all in the name of love, because it does not benefit you. It benefits the person manipulating you. Okay. Thank you for listening, and peace out.